Spent over $3,000 with Tork Motorsports. Are you sponsored by Eurocompulsion?
I did everything I could think of.
According to John, I
had 2 of your own customers come to me.
kept giving me these tunes with higher.
You think you were the guinea pig?
I pushed a lot of the limit.
Don't promise something if you can't deliver.
But I wanted a sponsorship with Tork.
How'd you get the ball fell?
He'll go crazy with you.
The people I know, like Mikey Turbo.
That's fact. Everyone should know that. I'm out of this toxicity. So how do we start this? What do we've been gone for a while. A lot of stuff has happened since then. You've really taken off. Yeah, like I don't have a car anymore, or the Spider at least. I got
You got a car. The Spider's gone, unfortunately.
You can't get any more driven district.
I was gonna say, can we have any more? Ta-da.
Jesus, good thing I didn't wear my driven district shirt. I feel it would be too much.
So we're just gonna kind of go over our tuning experiences, kind of.
Mm-hmm. The emphasis, the impetus, the epitypicus of this video is all about tuning and our experiences with Eurocompulsion and Tork, and let people know what the truth is, and then you can make your own decision. And then towards the end of it, we're going to talk about the reality of tuning and stuff that I think I didn't know about when you start tuning a car, like some certain things that that everybody should know before they start getting involved with any kind of tuning, even if it's a piggyback. Yeah, it's tuning, buddy. It's not like it's not like a breeze. You gotta have some plan Bs and some. You gotta understand what you're doing. So we're gonna pretty much ask each other questions, and if you guys like this kind of stuff, please comment. Hey, Nikon doesn't suck. We like this. We bring more Nikon. Bring more of the mic. Because
you see it like coming in and out. I'm just laughing because it's like coming in and leaving. It's like the screen is like picking it up.
So I'll ask you a question first. Are you sponsored by Eurocompulsion? Because how did you get this, forged blow-off valve that you're gonna give to other people? How'd that happen?
Yeah, that's pretty funny because I know we touched base on that, and so am I sponsored? No, from my knowledge, I'm not. I would love to be. So up until I think it was, the intercooler, which was like my most recent modification on the 124. It's phase 2 an intercooler. Up until then, I got a small discount on that. But up until then, I paid everything full price besides your typical coupons. I bought most of my stuff during Black Friday, but everyone could have got that same coupon. Going forward, I'm definitely going to try working with them a little bit more. And maybe there'll be a little sponsorship thing going forward, but I can't even really talk about it.
Let me stop you there because I like how you're so honest. You said, all right, I got a discount on the race intercooler, and there maybe will be a sponsorship in the future, but you're trying to work on that. So I like that you're acknowledging it, because and also I don't see an issue. Like, I would want you to get sponsored by Eurocompulsion so you can get more parts and access, and then show us what it's like. Like, I don't understand like the talk of, oh, he's going to be sponsored, so he's not going to say anything bad about them. And people have this thought, like, it's all like, don't be sponsored. Like, I don't know. I just want to jump in and say that real quick. I think it's a good thing that you did. And I like that you're honest about it. Like, you're saying, I'm trying to. It's not happened yet.
At the end of the day, as someone who's a creative content maker, whatever you want to call yourself, like us, basically, what is the end goal? Like, to try and have something you're building. I'm building a brand. I'm trying to build a brand, but I'm doing it in something I'm extremely passionate about.
And you've done a great job.
The automotive industry. So these are things that it's like the nature of the game. You create high quality content, you connect with businesses. I see it more as a partnership than a so-called sponsorship. Like, I want to mutually be able to help Eurocompulsion. You know what I mean? Like, when I make videos, I don't go to them and say, hey, put this on your site. When they send me products, not when I say send, I mean mail them. Like, I never got something for free from them yet.
Yeah.
When I get something from them, I don't go out and make a video specifically for like them, you know what I mean? But it's me creating content that they appreciate, and then me appreciating their business model and service, and mutually being able to help each other. Like, that's how everything is,
And real quick, I'll jump in with Tork. When I was, with my Spider, we don't have it anymore. You can watch the video about it. I'm sure Pat will put the card somewhere.
Yeah, I'll throw a card up here and I'll link below and all that stuff.
But I wanted to get sponsored by Tork. I wish they put me on their website. I wish that they gave me a shout out on social media, but it's not their strong suit. They don't really use social media that way. They don't really share things anymore. They lost one of their guys named Matt, who used to do all that stuff. And you know, it is what it is. But like, I wanted that, and I would actually try to convince John, hey, could we work something out? And he's like, can't really do that. You know, I treat everyone the same, whatever. But I wanted a sponsorship with Tork, so I'm going to be vocal
And
about that.
yeah, and I wanted to
Expensive.
talk.
I wanted that. But real quick, sorry, we never let you answer the forge blow off valve. How you got the other one? Sorry, I interrupted you.
So everyone should know this by now because I made a video about it and I've been very vocal about it on, I think, forums and Facebook, whatever. But basically, my forge blow off valve for like a good month, if not more, was extremely delayed. And again, I'll link the video. It's like a 1-minute video showing it. I let off the gas and it's like super delayed.
Oh shit!
And there would be a ton of like air, just shit going on in the car. Like,
that's because you got that bigger turbo from EC. You got all that lag, bro. Everyone knows EC only has power at the end of the RPM.
I don't have the bigger turbo.
No, you do. You're not telling us, bro. You're sponsored.
I'm sneaking a phase 3 under there.
Yeah, man. You're on meth and E85, bro.
On stock injectors.
hey, the wound is still fresh. Okay, keep going.
So basically, I had this issue for a while. And I did everything I could think of. Like, I took apart the blow-off valve. I cleaned it. I moved the actuator further from the turbo. I replaced hoses. I rerouted hoses. I did everything.
And you made a video about that, trying to figure out.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I made tons of videos.
The tubing, everything.
Yeah, so I did everything, and it was still delayed. So I reached out to Eurocompulsion. I reached out to Forge, because the Forge product, but I bought it through Eurocompulsion. And Forge, I was talking through live chat, and they're like, you got to go to the company you bought it through, which is Eurocompulsion. In that same chat, I guess because I kept chatting with Forge, they said, well, what's your address? We'll ship you just the actuator. It's cheaper for them to do that than the blow-off valve itself. So they shipped me the actuator, and Eurocompulsion shipped me an entire new blow-off valve kit to try and fix my problem. They both shipped within 1 day of each other. The Forge unit came in 2 days, and the Eurocompulsion took a little bit longer just for shipping purposes. So I switched the actuator. Everything's fixed from Forge, you know? So the issue was the actuator. Forge got it to me first. So now what do I have? I have a brand new Forge blow-off valve from Eurocompulsion, and I contacted Brandon, and I'm like, yo, like, I'll ship it right back to you. I don't need it. I said, or if you want, I would love to do a giveaway, and I'll make one of the requirements, like, you know, follow Eurocompulsion, follow Driven District. You know how brands do that? Like, follow this, follow that. Because Eurocompulsion is the one that made it happen. And Brandon's like, yeah, we'll be fine doing that with you. That's how I got this blow-off valve, you know? I was either going to ship it back to them because I don't want to sell it. I don't want to make money off something I got for free. That's not right. So either I leverage it as a giveaway, and obviously say one of the requirements is to follow Eurocompulsion because they made this giveaway happen, which when I do have the giveaway, that will be one of the requirements. I'm just kind of waiting until I get a little bigger, but that's that, because people are like, how'd you get the blow-off valve?
Well, yeah, I was suspicious too, because I just thought that you were. But then again, like, it even comes back to it. Like, even if you did get sponsored by Eurocompulsion, like, first off, I'd be congratulating you, and I think you would make a video saying, now I'm officially sponsored. I don't think it would be like a secret thing that you wouldn't want to tell people. And I also don't understand the idea of what's wrong if you did get sponsored, but nonetheless, you're not. And the only reason why it's tied to Eurocompulsion is because you asked them, can I do a giveaway? So that all makes sense to me. I understand it, and I think that's a cool
which goes back on their great service. You know, people, you're pushing them. I'm going to push a brand and company that I love, like Ragazzon, the Ragazzon exhaust. I just started becoming a dealer for them. Why? I bought their system full price, spent thousands of dollars. I enjoyed it. Now I'm going to try selling it to people.
Congratulations!
I like it.
Ragazzon,
I have experience with it. I like it. I know it's a good product. Now I'm comfortable saying, hey guys, like, now I'm a dealer for them. You guys can buy it through me. Same with Eurocompulsion. I like the company. I don't mind saying they're a great company. You can go to them and stuff.
I think the problem that people have, and I kind of had, and to be honest, when I saw some of your videos, not that it was a problem, but you're so professional and it's so like focused. It came out of nowhere. And there's always all those rumors of EC for whatever reason. There's just so many rumors and bad talk about all these tuners with EC specifically that they have, like, they own the forums, right? And
which is crazy. People have brought that up to me, and I spoke to them, I want to be a vendor.
They think that you came out of nowhere to bring up EC sales because you're so good at doing what you do. So people thought, oh, he's probably with them, because how would this random guy come out now?
Dude,
and be
if you look. if you guys look at Driven District, the YouTube channel, it started over a year ago when I had my Golf R. I was just busy doing other businesses.
And
so
those Golf R videos had even more views, by the way. So it's like everything you're doing is more of your passion. If you wanted to max out, you would have kept the R and you would have gone that route. Because be honest, it's
when I got the 124, I just started becoming a little more active on YouTube because my other business stuff that I was working on slowed down. So I'm like, I had more time for the passion.
The other thing is, and I know I'm cutting you off, and Kevin is going to get mad at me in the comments and say I'm cutting him off. But hey, all right, Kevin, I don't see you in this, bro. You take a chill pill, all right, and enjoy that Las Vegas heat. I'm kidding. Shout out to Kevin, who apparently, according to John, he's Greg from Eurocompulsion.
God, yes.
All right, we're smack talking too much. What the hell was I going to say? Why did I interrupt you? You're super helpful. And people also found that, okay, he's way too nice to be real. Like, you're always trying to help people figure out their problems with EC stuff or anything. And you're like hitting them up on the forums. So I think the thing is that in the beginning, you were just too nice. And people were wondering, is it genuine or...
Just getting my dog. She's scratching at the door.
I think people were just wondering, is that like genuine? Because most of the time with car stuff, like there's no one's this nice. Like, I know you follow the Gary Vaynerchuk model of give more, be kind. I've spoken to you for hours on the phone. Like, I know that you're not, you are that guy. Like, you are that guy, pal. I'm not that guy, but you're that guy who's super nice and wanting to help everyone with their problems. But from some like skeptic point of view who doesn't know you well, they might think, well, oh, he's obviously sponsored because why else would he put so much time and energy into helping people? So I think of it as like almost like a flattery that they think that you were sponsored. But, that's why I wanted to do a sit down with you like this. I know we called it a tuner thing, but I thought it would be a great opportunity because you don't get to talk about all this stuff in most of your videos. You're focused on the stuff you're reviewing.
Car content, yeah.
That being said, I'm going to stop talking and let you take it away.
So I know we wanted to talk about our experiences with the tuning companies. You know what I mean? Just give some honest opinions and share our personal experiences with them. And I think most people already know that I'm very happy with Eurocompulsion through experience. You know what I mean? Like, I can genuinely say it because I've had my experience with them. Mm-hmm. You were with Tork, and you were, I know, very heavy and very big as far as the Tork Motorsports brand and everything. Yeah. And you had some recent things that happened recently, and I know you wanted to kind of talk about it and talk a little bit about what happened, or possibly there's a lot. I don't want to talk about things that are uncomfortable, but I guess.
No, tear into it, because I'm not just going to bring it up. So if you have anything specific.
So this too, as far as Nickon, obviously, I'm not the type of person that, regardless, John has said all these things in comments to me, but I don't go out of my way.
Let's talk about that for people that don't know what we're talking about. So you made a video. You can link it.
We'll break it down real quick. I made a video showing with a stock 124.
Let's put the card somewhere if you want to check that video out.
There's two of them, part one, and I had to do it again because of John. But
part two is really where John started commenting. And then also in my video, when I made a video and I had you in the thumbnail about how to get proper data, and I was calling you out for a lot of stuff you did. I'm not going to lie. I was clickbaiting.
It's what it is. You were told.
That's where in the comments, John got very, not politically correct, I'd say, and got a little aggressive and showed his fangs.
He gets angry, and he's unprofessional, put it that way, especially as a business owner.
Yeah, and he's not going to deny that, and the people that work there also don't deny that. Everyone realizes that's what it is. We're not. Yeah, I'll let you.
You're gonna have haters. You're gonna have people who love your company. It is what it is. He's gonna have more haters than he should have because of his persona and the way he carries himself. But if he's okay with that himself, who am I to say anything? Let him be who he is. I don't care. He doesn't have to like me. I don't have to like him. It's totally fine. It don't matter. But with you went Tork, and you went very heavy very quickly, I believe,
so
as far as notifications go.
So here's the thing. Tork always took a while to get parts out, and I want people to know that first off.
Yeah.
John at Tork Motorsports won't deny that. If you also want to know about what Tork is doing and stuff they offer, you have to go on their Facebook page because they don't really show a lot on their website, and there's not much on Instagram, and they will email you. But if you want to know if they're behind on orders or if they're, because you'll see John apologize and say, sorry, we're late on orders. Before I go into this, for all the Tork fanboys, I want you to realize I spent over $3,000 with Tork Motorsports. I blew my engine because I had a bad installer do them on my multi-air springs. I lost upwards of 10 grand. Then fast forward a year and a half later, I went back with springs. Then I did crazier mods. And I never, even when my car went now, I've never blamed Tork. I'm not saying it's Tork's fault. I take ownership for trusting some of the things I did with Tork and my installers and et cetera, et cetera. But I'm never blaming it on them. But haters are going to say whatever they want to say. But have you, put money where your mouth is? Because I spent over $3,000 on them. Like, I even spent $400 for that E85 tune, which didn't really last me much. And I never got a refund from John. I never asked him for a refund. So I want you to understand where I'm coming from. I've made a ton of videos. All that aside, stage 0 tune, everything's great. I put 12,000 miles on it, took the car up to its red line.
That's a lot of miles too. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest and to be fair, you haven't put that much mileage on your Eurocompulsion tune. So
that's why
we still have to see. But that being said, I've dealt with like my catch can had issues. I called EC. They right away got me a new catch can. They work with me with Tork Motorsports. Like I was like, telling him, hey, I'm making videos. Hey, I'm this guy. Hey, can you guys help me? And they started to know who I was finally, because I made so much movement and content and waves. But still, like waiting for my intercooler, for example. Look, I applaud John that he's a one-man shop and he does everything. And like, honestly, if EC had just Greg doing everything, I don't think they'd be surviving. I don't think anyone could do what John does, because he does all these different cartoons. It's crazy. But EC at least has a couple people. They spread things out. Greg does this stuff. You have Brandon. I don't know all the guys. Toby. You have people doing things and they're on it nonstop.
Yeah.
Just to give you an example of how nonstop, and this is not hating. We're not talking about tune quality. I'm just saying ship it and speed. I'm put on my story that I was going to get my new Tork intercooler.
Oh yeah.
While I did that, Pat was able to manage to get what was once out of stock race intercooler. Like, Eurocompulsion was out of stock. Then they went back in stock for the race intercooler. Pat got it installed and tuned before I got my Tork intercooler.
You ordered it before I even bought mine.
And Kevin had even DM'd me after he saw me with my shipment of I'm getting this new intercooler. He went right away, got his EC intercooler and tune phase 2 all installed and done before me. And it doesn't end there. I never got my stage 1 tune because, John wasn't, and that's nothing. John doesn't communicate well because he has so many things going on. And I still waited like another couple months for him to then show me that he was giving me a higher rev tune. I never got stage 1. And then I was told that it would be better to go to E85. And then we went down that area.
Now that I'm very curious about, because for the first time when we vaguely spoke about this, I thought you wanted E85, but you kind of cut me off that day and said, no, John pushed that.
All right. Well,
because I honestly don't know either.
Let me break it down how it went. John doesn't just email me or Facebook Messenger me, hey, I got a new tune for you.
Okay.
I obviously was like, yo, I want tunes. I want faster, but I want stage 1. Now, John states, because he kept giving me these tunes with higher revs, and he said, does the car feel faster? Give me some draggy times. And I showed him, and it's barely going faster. His theory now with what happened with my car, and if you want to understand what happened with my car, we could put a link to that. I know probably only 5 cards somewhere, how it broke, because I go into detail. I can't go into all the details here, but he's saying it's because of my spark plugs, because ultimately they were loose, and that's why he wasn't getting the ignition the way, and that's why we couldn't make the power. Because what ended up happening was that he was giving me these tunes with higher revs, like 7,000 RPM, which is cool that he figured that out. And I drove the car, and I didn't have issues yet with that type of higher rev limit and no fuel cutoff. But because we saw there wasn't being power made, he said, you're going to have to go E85. That's the next logical step for more power. And I kept saying I want more power, but I wasn't really sold on going E85. So he never said I could give you stage 1. He promised it, but then once he saw that he was giving me these tunes and it wasn't going faster, he's kind of like, oh, we have to go E85. So it was a mix of, sorry to interrupt you. It was a mix of both, but obviously I didn't want to go E85. Like, if he said, oh, I could just do stage 1 on 91 octane, I would have been awesome.
Now, question, because I know me personally, this is the route I would take. I'm just curious if you or John spoke about this or brought it up as a viable option. Larger turbo instead of E85. Personally, me, I see E85 as a more extreme tuning stretch than going to a slightly larger turbo, which is an offering from both companies.
I think
93 octane. Then me, it's like bigger turbo, 93 octane or 91, whatever you have. Then E85 should be the next step. That's just my logic. I think, like, I don't know. That's how.
I think you're right. But I've heard so many horror stories and truths about 91, because you got 93 and people say that's not a big difference, but buddy, it is. Especially with turbo cars, a small turbo. Like, 87 to 91 is big, and 91 to 93 is even bigger in some ways. So because of that, and because my climate's so hot, I have a problem with going back and forth on what I say to people, right? Because a part of me really did always like the idea of the water's back on in my house. I always wanted to go 85, but or push it. But yeah, the reason was because I was just like, geez, I can't focus with this sound. I was just simply like, okay, I'm in 100-degree weather. I don't want my car to heat soak. So I thought E85 is better. And I think John's point of view, because he knew I was struggling with cash and he wanted to help me out, and he saw the videos and he wanted me to make videos and he wanted to help me out. So he thought, okay, a cheaper alternative for this is I can give him, my new thing without doing injectors on E85. He doesn't have to spend money on a turbo or anything, and he's getting this E85. And that was my thought process. Oh, I can max out without upgrading turbo.
Yeah. Now, from experience, again, I'm not a tuner, but for me talking to like EC and some other folks, they've said that like the stock injectors, they've like almost maxed out on like pump gas, depending on how they do it.
Yeah.
But maybe that's where this power thing, lube comes into, like, I don't know.
Right. I had to use Power Plus, the cylinder upper lubricant. But then John told me that he recommends it for anyone doing E85, even on upgraded injectors. But
I'm not in, that's out of my realm.
I'm not that guy, so I'm not going to comment on it. All I know is that for 500s, it looks like this E85 non-injector thing worked. Although for one of his guys, he commented on my video saying how, I think his name was Parker Evans. Maybe I shouldn't have called him out, but I think he's okay with it because he's not with Tork anymore. He had issues with cold starting, and not just E85 cold starting, but like the fuel map for the cold start was different. And John even commented on my video. You could see it, how he needed to figure that area out. Now, before I did this, I spoke to one of the guys who was his guinea pig on a 500, and he had put over 2,000 miles on it. And as we speak, him and John are trying to figure out a way to go E85 without upgrading injectors on a bigger turbo. And they're somehow making it work with all this whatever. But on a Spider, I haven't seen it done on a Spider yet. And maybe he's done it on other Spiders, but I think I was the only one being vocal about it. I think I was the first one.
That's what I was about to. You said guinea pig on a 500. Do you think you were the guinea pig on the 124? So to say, like, when you spoke to John, like, I remember you telling me like John's about to do a E85 map with like stock injectors. Like, were you that first person that he did it on?
Here's the thing. I had complete trust in John, and I wanted to push the boundaries. Like, I got addicted, and I wanted to be the guy to say, I'm the first ever Spider. So he never told me you're the guinea pig, but he did say, I want to start testing 85. And I did tell him, like, yo, even if the car blow. And I even told him a couple times, like, I was so into John and Tork and helping this company and being the fastest Spider. I was like, even if my car blows, I've been through it. I'll have Jesse make the engine. I was like so naive. So it wasn't like I was telling John, this is my daily. Please don't mess it up. Let's not push the limits.
Yeah. Which now you were vocal about that in your past video, but like you just went really hard, really aggressive. And unfortunately, some bad things happen.
Well, it's also the reason why I want to talk about my experience with Tork is that you watch piston and petrol videos and you think that EC is like the Satan spawn and they're horrible and they're this and that and that they're slower than Tork. But then you look at videos of phase 2 and stage 1. I'm sorry, but literally look at those videos. They're like neck and neck with each other. Now, yeah, maybe with Tork, they don't recommend upgrading coil packs. But one thing you told me was EC doesn't require that you necessarily do all the mods. They advise it, but they're not like, we won't tune you unless you have the 4C coil packs.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know that.
I've also said, like, and I've literally made a video about it. I have coil packs. I'm like, did I feel a difference? No. Do I care? No. I didn't do it to feel a difference. I did it more for like the safety, longevity. I'm trying to prevent issues from happening.
And like we said, you still have to put miles on the car. I don't want to jinx it, but obviously, like, you haven't put a lot of miles in. You're still new to the game. You don't drive it. Also, another thing to note with my driving is I don't know if many drove the way I did. I think Spulin is definitely a good explanation of Eurocompulsion. He's a race driver, but I don't know if he's been through a couple engines because I know he's got a new Spider. So I know he doesn't want to speak about stuff like this. But, Mikey Turbo is a great example of someone who's put a lot of mileage on his car.
He has a ton of mileage, and he goes to the Dragon twice a year almost.
But there's also people with Tork that apparently really love it. I don't know. All I know is and then what we want to talk about in this video, and I want people to understand, is that when you place an order with EC or Tork, you need to give a lot of time to Tork. And it's not that they're lazy. It's just that the way they operate is John's doing all the tuning. His wife is doing all the shipping. And it's really crazy how much they do. But I don't think it's also fair for the customer to be like, well, I have to be, grateful whenever I get a tune from John when I spend over $1,000. That's not me hating on him. Okay. You look at the Facebook, look at his Facebook post.
But like you said too, it's almost like don't promise something if you can't deliver. Irrelevant if it's free, if it's not free. If you're going to make someone, if you're going to say, hey, I'm going to send Nikon something, and then you don't do it, don't come back saying, well, it's free, you have to wait. But then don't say you were going to do it. That's where it's like, it's more like morale. Like, you know, if you're going to do it, do it. If you can't follow through, then maybe don't make those promises.
Right. But I haven't dealt with tuning from Eurocompulsion, so I can't say they're greater. All I can say is that everyone knows this. Their customer service, you call them, they're going to pick up and they're going to ship stuff to you quicker. I'm not going to get into which tune's better. I don't want to deal with the whole drama of people saying this or that. All I'm going to say is it's really proven. Go out there. You'll see it in the forums. Torque always has delays. I explained it. It's a lot of people working there. They work very hard. I understand that. If you can wait around, you like Torque, you're going to stick with Torque. Okay, that's your choice. I'm just letting you know it's going to take a long time. And I don't think it's proven that they're a lot miles and miles faster than EC, which is what I thought personally. And I honestly think that this kind of goes to another note. I think tuning, you know, obviously I'm not that guy, and my path went downhill very fast, and I've been through 3 multi-air engines. But don't be the guy in the comments who's just going to say, oh, you know what, Nikon, you did it all wrong. You did your plugs wrong. You did this wrong. It's all on you. It won't happen to me. Don't be that guy. Don't be the Monday morning quarterback who looks at the game that happened over the weekend and said, oh, if I was the quarterback, I would have done it different. I could be you. And I want you to understand that. Okay. Understand this could happen to you. So when you tune, understand you should have a plan B. And we spoke on the phone about this, Pat. Do you agree that, when you tune, piggyback, phase 1 EC, stage 0 torque, what happens?
I believe anytime you tune a car, modify it for more performance or even some other type of modifications and parts, like you're going to sacrifice reliability to a degree. It's something, it's a risk you need to just accept.
Is the juice worth the squeeze kind of a thing, right?
Yeah.
Is the juice. In my stage 0, I put 12,000 miles, drove it, had no issues.
And there are going to be times where, like, I know some folks have said that the factory, I don't know if it's the air to fuel or some, I think there are going to be times where you can have a tune that's like very, very mild that might actually fix some of the factory tune. Sometimes the factory tune isn't the best, but don't expect big numbers. Like, you're going to be very just on the mild side. Once you go to really making power, it's reliability and power. They're going to be like this. In the beginning, they might be really, really close. You might be able to mildly tune it. Maybe reliability is going to be about the same, maybe better. But once you start going higher up on the power, reliability drops. You got to start doing more maintenance. You got to be more in tune with your car. Pay attention to little things. Like my coolant was low once. I didn't know that. I was working on my blow-off. I'm like, why the hell is my coolant low? Now I know there's an issue with the 124 Spider and stuff like that. So I topped it off. Hasn't happened since, but I'm going to keep my eye on that. You know, it's like these little
things.
That's the
thing. That's the thing with tuning, is that it will keep you up at night occasionally. And there's stuff, it's rewarding, but you have to understand that you got to ask yourself, is the juice worth the squeeze, and how far do you want to push it? Obviously, I went far. I went no injector E85. I did the multi-air springs. I did a lot of the crazier stuff, and I had 7,000 RPM. Instead of your fuel cutoff happens at 5,800. You go up to 6,000 or 6,500. I don't remember the rev.
65 is factory. 68 is like what you
see. But 58 is actually where your fuel cuts off. Your power loses up top. There's like safety measures in the engine, even though if you go up, and you'll notice that when you hit the red line, it kind of stops and shuts off power, right? Like that's with any.
I'm not too familiar. Okay.
If you hit red line a lot, like in a stock one, you'll notice that you lose power in your throttle. When you hit the red line, it bounces off the red limiter. Of course, yeah. There's safety features. I lost. I'm on a podcast right now. You answer the door. Well, open the door, let them in. You just let them in the house. No, you can do it. Just talk to the guy. You talked to mom already. Anyways, sorry about that.
We're back. I was gonna get my dog for like a little intermission, but we're back. Let's keep going.
Sorry. So yeah, man. Like I pushed a lot of the limits, and then
yeah, you went. Yeah.
I don't know what it was. The plugs I went over in the video, but the point is that like it's not like, oh, it's super easy, and also whether you go Eurocompulsion or Torque, like you can attest to this. The first tune you get is probably not going to work. There's probably going to be an issue. You need them to send another tune to you. You need to know that, because I thought you go into it, right away the tune's going to be perfect. It's just
not all the time. I had an issue the first time, and I was open about this with Eurocompulsion. Like, there's nothing to hide. My tune wouldn't work the first time.
Not just you though. Especially when you go to phase 2, it's not like a bad thing about Eurocompulsion. The good thing is Eurocompulsion gets back to you within the day or 2 days. I've heard with Tork, Tork, it takes a week or so.
And that's hard. That was one of the main reasons why, because like you said, you have one car. At the time, I had one car, the Fiat. Yeah. And I didn't have a ton of cars like before. And I wanted to make sure that if I had an issue, I could pick up the phone or reach out to email and have a response that day or in a timely manner.
Tork will respond to you on Facebook and Messenger, and it's a CEO. The problem is that it's a one-man show doing all the tuning, and the tuning was what takes longer to get back to you. Where EC, you get the tuners, there's multiple tuners, you get your tune quicker. That's fact. Everyone should know that. I want that to be known.
And I believe, and the customer service is more reliable. And
parts getting out to you, tunes getting out to you. EC's a bigger company, or not a lot bigger, but they have at least a couple more employees. They have everyone doing a certain thing. They're on it. Tork Motorsports, they're working hard, but their system is. Everyone said this too. Even people that love John say it. He's not the businessman go-to guru. And even John doesn't claim that he is. John even lets people know, like, I'm a tuner and you're just going straight to a tuner, and you have to understand this is how I am. If you don't like it, then don't bother with it. And he's fine with that.
Yeah. And I know John in his past videos, every time I gave like advice, and I'm not someone to give advice, but I'm just opinion, advice, whatever. He's always like, you don't tell me. I don't need to be told how to. But wouldn't you believe that if there was like almost a wall between John and the customers, like John's the tuner, and now you have like a customer service side, wouldn't you think that would probably help?
But here's the thing though, you're with EC, and EC and him have their own bad blood. And when people don't know you, I'm not saying what he did was right, but he doesn't understand, or he doesn't see it as, you're just being a nice guy, giving like a good valid point. Why the hell do you have 2 websites? He sees it as, look at Mr. EC coming in, taking away my customer. Like, honestly, that's just how it is. I'm not saying what he did was right. And I'm not like, but it is what it is. Like, I think there's not much else we can really say other than that. We've gone over customer service. Is there anything about Eurocompulsion now that you would like to have been different? I know that they're great with you. You love them, but is there anything that you wish was different?
If I could think of something, I would genuinely speak about it. And just to say something, because I said, like, my first tune I ever got from them just wouldn't upload to my car. It put my car into the anti-theft mode. Mm-hmm. Like, it just wouldn't start for half an hour. But then I reached out, I went on the forum and I reached out, and they sent me a new tune in a timely manner, and it uploaded and it was fine. Well, that was my main issue. But other than that, they've been there to help from the beginning. Like, that was when I was a nobody. Like, my channel was barely there. I didn't even have a video up of my tuned car, but they still helped me I'm a normal person, and they were a tuning company.
But something that I know of a couple of my friends who don't use Eurocompulsion parts. Like, one of my guys that I know, I wouldn't say his name, he got like a Tork intercooler. Okay. They kind of throw a little bit of salt, like, hey, we don't know about these parts. We know about our parts because we tested it. We don't know much about these parts. I'm not saying that's good or bad, but that's something else. And then another thing is that if you get like a crazier turbo, like not a stuffed turbo or not a Tork turbo, you get, or not an engine turbo, some other KO4, I don't know what it's called, crazier turbo. Mm-hmm. I have a friend who had an email from EC pretty much saying, we're not going to deal with trying to figure this headache out. We recommend you actually don't use that. It's probably not going to work as good. And it comes back to EC saying, we haven't tested it. We don't want to guarantee you a false claim and be responsible or break your car. Where Tork will kind of go, from my understanding, they'll take it on. But again, you have to wait a little bit. Reliability's shady. Could be shady because he won't say no. And if you give him a push, or you say, I want to go crazy, he'll go crazy with you. That's something I will add, though, with Eurocompulsion that I've seen, but I haven't dealt with it personally. I've just seen the emails, a couple of people that I know. And I can understand why Eurocompulsion would want to take stuff on that they don't know, because they don't want their reliability or what they're viewed as to go down.
They're really on something. But they're really big on not only giving you a car that can perform, but making you creating a car that can perform with longevity. And I think for some folks, that is key. And for some folks who might be chasing the ultimate of the ultimate, John will go above and beyond what Eurocompulsion will do. Why? Because it's outside of their safety limits. If you went to EC and said, I want a 7,000 and change redline, I want 85 on stock injectors, EC would probably say, we can't do that. This is what we can do to work
That's
around.
true.
You want E85? This is what we recommend. This is what
That's
you need
true.
to do. And as far as, they'll work with you. They'll try to get you what you want in a safe manner.
And maybe it's a good thing there's two options out there for two different types of people. Maybe people who are like what I would have probably needed. You need a daily driver. You need the company to tell you no because you're not that guy. Versus another company that's better for, like, I know people that really love torque and get their car to go farther are people that are really more mechanically inclined and are willing to take, the squeeze and the punches and figure the issues out themselves. And I'm not saying that Eurocompulsion guys aren't like that, but I'm saying with torque, you do need to be like that. Because if you tell John you want to go far and beyond, he will say, well, we got to do certain things safe, but he's assuming that you've already checked a lot of the things like your type of plugs, your oil, your filter. He's not going to go through all the step-by-steps of what you should have done to make sure you can handle that kind of power, or the kind of common knowledge of, if I give you a higher red line, you really shouldn't be revving it all the time.
Because let's be honest, I'm not a tuner, but from everything I've seen, everything I've read, dyno charts I've seen, our car there's nothing up top, even at the factory 6,500 RPM.
Yeah.
It's falling.
And
what are you doing at 7,000?
I'm happy you brought that up. Well,
stock turbo. I don't know. I'm not a tuner, but
I felt it go faster. Listen, I felt it go faster, and I should have. I might have the draggy info, but I went on that same road, not the same day, with the higher rev. I felt it go farther.
But I'm assuming you went E85, maybe more.
No. I didn't even test it E85, but I have. But I know that it felt faster.
Factory turbo, same tune. You
with higher revs, yes, I felt it, and I got draggy data. It was faster, but it wasn't as faster as we thought it should be, and that's what he thought of. But I don't know, man. I was driving it.
Was that tune just raising it to 7,000, or was it
same power, but just raising it to 7,000?
He didn't tweak anything else.
That's to my understanding. Yeah, he said he didn't.
And again,
I just know that it felt.
Variables.
I'm not that guy, but like, listen, like I've driven it and I felt it. Because look, you said you're not a tuner either. I felt it, and there's no doubt in my mind that people who go with torque can get a fast car, but reliability is not there, or service is not there. If this happened to me on EC, I bet EC would have refunded me something. I bet they would have reached out to me and said, we're so sorry this happened to you. Now, yeah, John did say he'll give me a head, but then once he found out I didn't go with the head, and I waited over a month when he promised he'd have it, even though it was free, he knew my situation was tough, and that's why, me and him are so...
The travel, you said that in your last video.
Yeah, and that's why he doesn't even tear into me, because he knows where I'm coming from. He understood.
It's a tough...
It fell on him.
Because you did a lot for them.
But with Eurocompulsion, though, I feel like I would have gotten more recognition and they would have given me something back. And I don't think there's any denying that. I'm not talking about lollipops. I feel like
they got their good lollipops.
Eurocompulsion would have probably given me at least 200 minimum back if this happened and my car blew up and it was on them. They would have done something.
I think more importantly, instead of refund, because you would have kept your 124 if John would have given you the head in a timely manner. Is that correct?
I don't want to make those claims because it's over and it's still fresh and it hurts. Like, obviously I wanted to, but there was a lot of other variables, like, having Jesse fix the engine and us trying to find a day that would all work. There was a lot of other stuff.
You waited a month, and then after that month, you're like, you know what? I can't. I have to drive. I'm about
even before the month finished, a part of me was already giving up on the Spider. I'll be honest.
Okay. See, I didn't know that. Okay.
I didn't want to say it, but yeah, a part of me was like, it's kind of done. And if it does get fixed again, it's gonna have more issues. It's not gonna be the same. I'm a big believer in that. Once it kind of goes and you try to put back ahead, it's just not gonna be the same. When I got the car back with a different engine, it had all those codes that I was ignoring. I made a video on that.
Yeah.
And Jesse's a great guy, but he's a one-man rodeo in his little garage. And I didn't know how well it was going to be me and him for 3 days, maybe, or more, trying to find a time that he would have to make room in that area, take off the cylinder head, go through with the timing belt.
Yeah. The only way for that,
many variables.
The only way for that to have happened would have been to you to purchase a cheaper car on the side just to have. And like you said, that wasn't a viable. And that wasn't a viable option.
I couldn't.
That would have been the only way.
Folks wouldn't allow it. Right. So it's not, I don't want to throw John under the bus because it really wasn't all on John. And if I made it seem like that, I apologize. It was also on me, but he was a factor because obviously didn't deliver.
You told me it took a month, and at that point you couldn't.
And
wait.
It's not just a month, man. I'll be honest. Like that intercooler took about 2-3 months, and then I never really got a stage 1 tune as had been promised.
I know. Me and you spoke a lot. I never was vocal about any of this because I respect.
No, I told you not to be vocal, and you didn't.
And I didn't talk bad about, because it's not my point. I wanted you to be upfront about things.
Right. And we've had our things, and I've given John a lot of benefit of the doubt and Tork a benefit of the doubt. And I'm still not saying anything mean about them. I'm still defending them when you ask me these things. I'm still because I just don't want any of that negative energy. Because look, I'm past Tork, but I just want people to understand what going with Tork is like. And, people are going to hate on me. The Tork fanboys are going to say, you did this, you did that. I don't have to prove how much of a Tork fanboy I was, because I think you could say I was the number one fanboy. I was the most vocal. I fought about it. I defended him. Even when he called you horrible names, I still didn't put him down. I still kept him up on a pedestal. I did everything I could. And, I wish the best on Tork Motorsports. I hope they can get their customer service on par. And if that means they need to stop tuning every single car known to man, maybe they should, because they're doing everything and they're working too much. And they need to have specific people run social media, specific people do shipping, and have another person do tuning. And I think that's what he needs to do. But hey, that's just me. That's just my thoughts. I think we're getting a little long now. I want people to know. It's funny
though, I wanted to touch base on one thing because it reminded me when he talked about customer service. In one of the videos, I forget if it was one of mine or yours, John actually commented back saying, it's not like anyone goes to Driven District for customer service or to get help, something along those lines. I don't know, like verbatim. Maybe I'll put a screenshot up.
Yeah, he said something like that.
I didn't even reply because I really don't try to go into it with him. Like, unless I need to respond, it's usually only because he blatantly lies about something or I need to help, explain something. I didn't respond. But the truth of the matter is, since he left that comment, I've had 2 people reach out to me with a Tork tune, like not you, not Nikon, but 2 other folks reach out to me, one on Instagram and one on a YouTube video, asking for help because they ran into issues. I'm totally fine helping. I don't care, but it's just the point that, like,
he really got to.
No one goes to district. And since then, I've had 2 of your own customers come to me asking me for a little bit of guidance and help. Like, what does that mean right there?
Yeah, and it's tricky because I'm in the middle of both of them, right? Like, I'm friends with you. John was my tuner, so I know that. I don't know where to stand. That's on, you want to make that comment. What happened?
I was just saying, anyone in New Jersey who wants to work as a mechanic, let me know. My friend from high school who owns a mechanic shop just texted me saying he's looking for an automotive mechanic. What a coincidence. We're doing a car podcast, and a buddy that I haven't spoken to in a few years just texted me saying if I know any techs looking for work, automotive, $35 an hour.
If they're interested, how do they contact you? Leave a YouTube comment, go on Instagram, send you a DM. Yeah.
If you're in New Jersey and you are looking for a job, automotive tech, mechanic, reach out to me. My buddy who has a shop locally.
I want one other thing to be known. We talked about Tork, and Pat needed to get some stuff off his chest about how John treated him. But future videos, like, I got an EcoBoost Mustang. I'm done with the Fiat Tork debate with EC. I'm out of this toxicity. But this video needed to be made, though, so people understood where I was coming from and a bit more about us. This is going to be every week, unless Pat gets really crazy busy, which probably will. But we're going to try.
Let's talk about that. We want to start doing, me and Nikon have always spoken about doing more of these type of podcast style videos about automotive industry, cars in general.
New cars that are coming out, things to know about. We're not going to, this is just this kind of video where we're talking about Tork. Other videos I could give up about Tork.
We probably won't even talk about it unless something.
It's over. We're going to get into EcoBoosts, every single car you can imagine, saving manuals, future cars. If you guys have any questions, we'll address the comments. We might even have its own segment. I'll let Pat take it away because I spoke to
him. So basically that's what you're covering is perfect. I want to talk about that. Like, me and Nick kind of spoken about doing this, and we've always had an issue as far as, like, do we start a new channel? Do we do part 1 here, part 2 there, like we did last time? And as I'm growing the brand Driven District, I see the value in what Nikon brings to have another automotive enthusiast that I can genuinely talk to, have fun with, and just talk about anything with, and put it on here with you guys. So what we're thinking of doing is having Nikon more on Driven District when we just kind of spitball and talk about cars and releases and our opinions and whatever, and communicate with you guys in the comments, at the same time trying to help build him up as Nikon Razi as well, we were deciding to do it on mine, and we have our own thing on that we're going to talk about when it comes to business stuff, obviously.
Yeah.
But if you guys are excited about seeing me and Nikon talking more, and I promise you in the future, I'll have a better setup than this crappy lighting and thing.
Me too.
But this is something we're thinking about doing to break up what I already do, because what I do is just a lot of car, like straight to the point, whatever. And this would be a good way to kind of mix up the channel. And really
how you see Pat behind the scenes. And we could even have, we're on Zoom, we can even have people come on. So if, one of you guys really wants to come on and ask us a question, we can make the time work and have you pop on the Zoom. We'll get another person on here. Moving forward, like I got a Mustang, but I'll still have some Fiat Spiders on my channel, and I'll do some polls and races and I'll be doing some exciting stuff. I have some new stuff coming out. Check out I'm going to plug myself in, Nickon Razi, Nickon. Check the YouTube channel out. But if you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe. I want to say one thing about Pat, though. To all the haters, to all the people that say, oh, Pat's this, Pat's that. Don't say stuff like that unless you're actually able to do what Pat does, okay? Because you don't know Pat like I do. You don't know what Pat's done. Can you make your own website? Can you make your own logo? Are you every single waking moment of your life? Are you out there DMing people, building your this Instagram page, helping people in the Fiat community? Are you? Oh no, you're not. You're just sitting there talking smack about how you think he's sponsored or he's this or talking smack about me because you've only spent $900 with Tork Motorsports and you think they're the best company ever and their customer service is better than any other company, but you haven't actually gone past stage 0 or put $3,000 down or made videos about it. Then please put a cap in it. That's all I'm gonna say, because it's just we have a habit of just putting everyone down. This video, we're not putting anyone down. I didn't put anyone down in this video. Pat didn't put anyone down in this video. We're about being positive and lifting people up. But I just really wanted to hit that home because, man, I see some nasty comments. I don't respond to them because it's not worth my time. But man, like, I'm gonna tear you a new one if I see you out on the streets. So I'm joking. I'm joking. No,
well said, Nikon. Really well said.
That was not a threat. That was just for jokes.
And I appreciate
that known.
And I appreciate everything you said, because at the end of the day, I am trying to build a brand and I have my feet in a lot of different platforms that I'm doing, but I'm still one person doing all this.
And we're gonna break some eggs. It's just how it happens. You can't not break any eggshells, right? And try to make everyone happy.
Yeah. All right, you want to wrap things up then, or what?
Yeah. I don't know how long this was, but if you watched it till the end, thank you. If you didn't watch it,
be sure to check out, like I said, Nikon. We're going to feature him more on Driven District, but make sure to go to his channel, which I will link below. Subscribe to him. He has great videos, and he's been doing on his EcoBoost Mustang. But the great thing is you do stuff outside of just cars, and I think that's why it's really cool. So that's why you definitely want to check that out, and let us know if you're interested in more of us doing this, and give us ideas, because we're new to this. We're still fresh to this. So we'd love to take some of your ideas and thoughts as well. I know the Nissan 400Z is about to come out. People are comparing it to the Supra. How it's more affordable. It comes with a manual. Manuals are disappearing. Electric, just spitball. Let us know what you want to hear us talk about. We want to build a community that we could have fun talking with you guys as well, having fun, enjoying your time and everything.
And I could see a segment about, how to find a good deal on a car, where to buy cars, because you have sketchy places like Vroom. You got prices of cars going up high. I went through the car buying process, to get this lease that I did. I understand what the market's like. He's in Jersey. I'm in California. We kind of understand the area well. So we have a lot of stuff coming out, and we're probably going to keep the videos more focused on one topic and do 10, 15, 20 minutes instead of what we did today. But this was more of a, hey, here's where we're coming from.
Yeah, this is something. Yeah, it was more of our experience. It was, you wanted to kind of verbally speak about some stuff, and I was perfectly. I wanted to verbally. This is a video we spoke about a little bit doing, but it wasn't planned. It was scheduled. You know what I'm trying to say? It was impromptu. It was like,
it was impromptu.
Literally, last night we spoke at like 2 a.m, and you're like, tomorrow, you want to do this? You even said you want to do it today. I'm like, dude, it's 2 a.m. People are sleeping. I got to whisper. You're like, you sound loud. I'm like, I'm right next to the phone. So
I was like, let's go, dude. Let's just fucking do it.
You're like, you sound loud. Let's just do it right now. I'm like, it's 2 a.m. where I am. Like, I have the phone like this talking to you. That's why I sound loud. I'm like, tomorrow, let's do it. So literally today, Nikon called me. 10 minutes. I'm like, let me get my laptop. Let me get my microphone. We set up and did this. Nothing was planned. Nothing was scheduled.
I was impressed.
So that's what this was. Honest, genuine experience and opinions. Keep in mind, guys, it comes from experience, what we're talking about, but it's also our opinion at the end of the day. So
I've made it known I'm not a tuner. I'm not someone to give you advice on how to run your car. I'm just letting you know what happened to me, what my thoughts are. That's it. I'm not that guy, pal. I'm not that guy.
yeah,
Pat,
like in the last video, I'm not that guy.
Oh, absolutely. Pat's definitely that guy. Yeah.
No, but even when it comes to tuning, when my car has issues, I'm like, slow it down. Like,
well, I'm happy that even though you're so big on Eurocompulsion and tuning, you acknowledge the fact that, yeah, you are going to hit reliability. If and most often than not, if you need a really reliable daily, maybe don't think about tuning. If you're going to drive it every single day, you got to go really far, because there will be some downtime when something goes off. If it does go off, you have to figure out. And it's important to have that understanding that I need to figure the car out rather than I have a check engine light, I'm ignoring it and I'm driving it like I did, like that P0137. I'm getting, the video's getting too long, but
yeah. All right, let's cut it. Hopefully everyone enjoyed it. Be sure to subscribe to Driven District, Nickon Razi, both
hit 1,000 subs, because then you get to give the giveaway, right?
Yes, the people that people like to talk about. Oh, free stuff, instead of being happy about me giving away free stuff. Whoa, where did he get that? Is he sponsored? That sucks. That's not fair. I'm giving away free stuff to the community instead of being
literally that's like $300 or more.
Thank you to Eurocompulsion, because they made it happen. Like, I had a free product.
Why didn't you do it with Tork though? I don't understand why you only talk about Eurocompulsion, because bro, he's not on it. What, he doesn't have the money. He's not Goodwin Racing. He's not Brian from Goodwin Racing to buy an EC and a Tork tune and then take it to a dyno place and check the air to fuel ratio and go back to the data. And then,
I'm not a tuner like that. I'm happy with what I have. The people I know, like Mikey Turbos, is a perfect example. He's got a 500 with a phase 3. He bought it brand new and now has 70,000 miles tuned, no issues. But like you said, we're getting too much on this.
Yeah.
Let's wrap things up. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. We want to obviously hear from you guys, so comment below. Be sure to check everything out, and we will catch you guys in the next episode of this unnamed podcast. Whatever.
The unnamed. I like that. The unnamed.
The unnamed car podcast. The Driven District, Nickon Razi, something. So
something. Yeah. Peace.
All right. Peace out, guys.